Welcome to the Adaptive Podcast, the one and only podcast to adapt based on the topic at hand. Today's topic will be on the bankruptcy reform of 1934. On an unrelated note, we cannot afford human voices right now.
What kind of change was the bankruptcy reform?
Well, it was likely a reform, both because reform is in the name, and it fits the characteristics of a reform.
Who exactly was the bankruptcy reform designed to help?
This reform was made mainly to help farmers. They were having a real hard time losing their land, and if farmers lose their land, people starve.
How long did the bankruptcy reform last?
From 1934 to 1949, so about 15 years.
Was the bankruptcy reform successful while it was around?
The program was mildly successful, however they canned it within the year due to the fact it deprived secured creditors of their property rights in violation of the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Does a variation of the bankruptcy reform exist today?
This bill generally revises consumer bankruptcy law by establishing a new Chapter 10 for individual debtors with not more than $7.5 million in debt. The bill eliminates the ability of individual debtors to file for bankruptcy under Chapter 7 liquidation bankruptcy and repeals Chapter 13, which requires individual debtors to comply with a repayment plan to receive a discharge of debt. Under Chapter 10, debtors may receive a discharge of debt through making minimum payment obligations based on the debtor's assets and income, which may result in immediate discharge for individuals with no minimum payment obligation. The bill also provides for residential protections for debtors and revises what type of debt is dischargeable in bankruptcy. An individual may obtain a discharge under Chapter 10 once every 6 years. Individuals may seek limited bankruptcy proceedings on certain debts, such as a home mortgage. The bill also establishes consumer bankruptcy protections, including by creating a consumer bankruptcy ombuds at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Thank you for tuning into potentially our last podcast. I hope you have enjoyed the previous 12 years of radio podcast. Have a good one.